This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. All right, let's get straight into the mailbag.
Okay, we like to get straight in. We don't muck around on the mailbag.
No mucking around on the mailbag.
Always come in on a Tuesday.
First one, Pastor Mark from Q. This is your mate,
Oh, Master Mark.
the pastor.
Oh, you used to
He was from here and
he
he
used to
moved.
go toe-to-toe on Twitter or
Yeah.
X with Mark.
I used to always say God bless him.
As a 30-plus year member this season,
Here we go.
he's a massive Dockers fan.
Good on him.
It has filled me with hope more than perhaps even 2015. If the team does not improve rapidly, then JL goes by round 6. Sack the coach already.
So, I did hear a lot of sack the coach stuff, but not just Fremantle.
It happens quick.
Who else went with it? Carlton went with it on Thursday night.
Yeah,
Fremantle went with it.
Ken's got to
Poor
go.
old McQualter. I saw McQualter get one on the
I
west.
just see that. Second we need a new coach.
Sack the
He
coach.
said one game.
What about, I saw Simo after the game on the weekend, and he said to us, I was waiting in the car to leave, and he's like, I didn't realise how hard calling footy was when the margins blow out. I was like, yeah, mate, been a tough few years in those boxes.
Thanks for the last few years, Simo.
Yeah, someone walked past, and they said something, you can't blame me for that one.
CJ Bruno, why the did we trade Dan Houston?
It's a very good
Port
question.
Adelaide fan, clearly.
For nothing.
Well, I mean, it's
What
hard
was
these
the
days.
trade?
When people
they got
demand
like a
that they want to go, it's very hard to keep them. Like, as much as you should be able to because of the contract, which does happen, you've
Yeah.
then got this miserable player looming around for a year.
Name one player that's been miserable for a year after they've been told no.
So Bobby Hill held out, remember?
Yeah.
So he was going to go to Essendon, I think, and then,
And then-
GWS said, nah, not happening. They held the line, and then he went to Collingwood anyway.
Yeah.
So that would have been the option
But he didn't
Port.
play with his bottom lip dragging.
No, but he didn't have his best season. I mean,
No, but Bobby
I think he had
wasn't-
testicular cancer too. So.
Yeah. But I mean, Bobby wasn't a star then. Like, he wasn't.
no,
an
So
He's
that would have
played
been
out.
Port's option. Stay. Sorry, Dan,
No,
you're
I
not
don't-
going.
But I don't
So
know.
they got-
But Dan, in fairness to Dan Houston, he did say,
Oh, stay.
I will stay.
Yeah.
That's right. It looks like this is probably not right, but it looked like they got rid of him and then they essentially got Richard and Lukosius back.
It's not.
Which is,
Yeah.
not-
I mean, yeah, I'm more. That's why these long-term contracts that clubs are doing,
don't mean
hold
much.
them to it.
I just think the biggest thing now is player retention. How do you keep your best players happy? And
Yeah.
But only one team wins a flag, so who cares if they're not happy? Unless you're Brisbane and you're unhappy,
you keep
then
losing good players, you're not going to be that team winning flags.
yeah, but you're not going to win flags by just giving long-term contracts to mediocre / above average players who we think are stars.
I'm not talking about contracts keeping them happy. I'm talking about
Just in
I'll
general
take
keeping them
unders because
happy.
I believe in this and I want to be
You just
here.
gotta
Yeah,
win.
but then they go, here's 7 years.
Yeah.
Instantly, there goes your motivation.
So it's the
There's your
competitor.
hunger.
It's the competitors that are causing the problem.
That's your hunger gone. These long-term contracts.
Yeah, but that's because other clubs are offering them
That's
that.
fine. If you've got them on...
Let 'em go?
You know they can be on 2 years. You don't need to give them 7 on top.
Yeah, but other clubs are offering them that.
But they can't leave in that 2 years. And if they want to leave at the end of that 2 years further, I'll see ya. I'll pack your car. Thank you.
least
You've
Bosch-
served out your contract. Instead, they go,
Oh,
shit,
okay.
that club's interested. Let's give them another 5. Let's see if we can remove all motivation.
Lomax 11, how many more years of pain for us Eagles fans? The list has to be the worst in AFL history. We did cover that a bit in the Hardball Gets 2-minute warning yesterday. It is bad, and the midfield in particular is bad. The draftees that they've brought in, Harley, we've talked about at length. We don't need to go more into that. But Bo Allen, I think they've earmarked as a defender. And Ginby is
Ginby's a
clearly a
defender
defender, and
now.
he's looking good there. Hewitt, I think, is a half forward, maybe could play some midfield time. They're missing the quality high-end mids, and I could see Zave's facial expression already.
Harry Sheezel goes
They
all right.
have had the chance to bring some of these guys
I
in.
did read the very first comment underneath the Instagram post yesterday. Only 6 months to go till we trade pick 1 for pick 16 and 19.
It's
a long haul.
It's going to be a really long haul.
I've got them for the wooden spoon this year.
Have you?
Yeah, I've backed them. Yeah.
Yeah.
After yesterday.
Yeah.
No, but
Or before that?
Did you take the unders?
yes.
Yeah. Did you have them that beforehand? Did you think they were going to be wooden spoon? Below Richmond. Come on.
Oh, I went Richmond overs and West Coast unders.
You had them beating Richmond for the season.
Well, at the MCG, I'd be backing Richmond.
Riley Drum. Did Xavier ever free ball at the MCG in front of 75,000?
Not big enough to dangle down the bottom anyway.
Just the tip.
So yeah, I did free ball, but never ever got it exposed.
Is that a belly button? Roscoe, bit of love for the big Nick Rynne on the back of a solid round zero performance for the hardball gets. A couple of tough years for Nick with his head trauma-related thought breakdowns and multiple drug strikes. He's never going to be your A-grader, but it's the 22nd and 23rd players that win podcasting premierships.
Bottom 10.
And I think he's put in the work over pre-season to help the hardball gets go back-to-back on the media gong, look sharp again, and he's my pump for 2023.
I like that. I like that.
Thank you. What was his name? He's now our number
His
one
name's
fan.
Nick Rynne.
Hey,
Nick Rynne,
do you
69.
feel like, looking at the logo, we could add underneath it just a really small, like...
Nutsack?
No, not a nut, no. Like 2024 podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Show of the year.
Yeah, I don't mind
Something
that.
like that.
I don't
Just a bit
mind
of a
that.
flex
Yeah,
where you're not
I don't
really,
mind that.
where you're not bragging, just the logo.
Or maybe the rest of the board on the back.
Could write it into the lining, like it's like, you know, like how
yeah,
clubs have like some
Yeah.
Latin underneath,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
ours is just...
Maybe we do it in
Show of
Latin.
the year.
Oh, I like that. That's
What's
real. That's
people be
real.
like,
what's podcast of the year in Latin?
That's obnoxious as all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
a little bit arrogant too.
Yeah,
Work
okay,
it
I
out.
like that for us. Nida, will Hawthorn lose a game this season? I'm concerned for the league.
People hate that so.
Up and down.
People hate that Hawthorn have bounced back so.
Oh,
quick.
no.
Think about how boring they were and battling,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
how
yeah.
poor their start was last year.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that on the weekend. It's like, Hawthorn and Geelong are good again. Oh, wow, it's been ages.
Great, Richmond as
Whoop
well.
to do. Yeah.
Angus Wright, without those 4 goals, was Murphy Reid's debut likely to get him dropped from the side?
He was having a shocker.
He was
early,
having a
yeah.
very quiet game. And you probably have, all things going well, Bolton and Walters coming back. So it would have been, but Switkowski got hurt, so maybe he would have survived as the sub or something.
Yeah,
But now
well,
he can't
but
move
straight
him.
away now with a bit of confidence, he's a better forward than what they've got down there
Absolutely.
than the other
Oh, yeah.
ones.
Lachlan Hall, fellas, I'd love your expert opinions on these questions, and in brackets, and Nick's too.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got here? Question 1. I have a provocation for you. Has the Eagles' rebuild even properly started yet?
No.
The Eagles' top 10 in the best and fairest last year had an average age of 27.5, and 8 out of the 10 were above the age of 26. We have one top 5 pick on our list, who Rhino currently has as a 60% chance of leaving the club. But as we know, Rhino is in the tent, so if he's saying 60, I think it's far higher than
Yeah,
that.
that's what my friends say.
However, is it even possible that we've been historically awful for 3+ years and all we have to show for it is one actual high-end talent who's every chance to leave? What's worse is that many of the players performing well in this awful team are right at the back end of their career. So there's every chance the list continues to regress in the last few years. That's question 1. What is the question? Has the rebuild even started?
No. That's what I've been saying. They needed 5 picks in the top. Richmond jumped their rebuild in 1 draft.
Clear them out, get everyone. At least Hoff's good. I like Hoff.
Yeah, like off. Question 2.
he's
And
fine.
as an adjunct to my previous question, tell me what the players that the Eagles have taken in the last few years would be worth if they requested a trade right now. Not suggesting they want to leave, but if they requested a trade tomorrow, what would they be worth? I reckon all are less than what we paid for them, except Reid. Campbell Chesser, pick 14. What
Yeah,
would
no.
you? What he?
I wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
Wouldn't.
Ruben Ginbey. I reckon Ruben would be. He's picked 9. He's not getting
You
a
wouldn't get
first
picked.
rounder,
No.
but I don't think he would be considered for trade. I think he's going okay.
But
Yeah, but
he's a
he's saying-
halfback.
he's
I
saying-
think I would love to. If imagine a big body, fast. You don't see his endurance, you don't see his power, you don't see his speed. Like West Coast are getting annihilated out of the midfield endurance wise, and he's their number 1 runner off half
I
back.
would put him in the middle now.
You think he's up to it now?
Yeah.
Elijah Hewitt, pick 14. Hard to say with Elijah. He just doesn't
He'd
play.
be a third or something because he hasn't
And
played.
Harley,
Yeah.
of course. Jordan, Zave, at the AFL level, how much time and effort is put into being able to kick with both feet? Looking at someone like Frios O'Driscoll as a prime example of someone who probably doesn't even like standing on his right peg.
So Clark used to say, I remember those Hawthorn sides and the left footers. You better to get a trick on your left foot than you are to try and make it up on your right. So whether you learn to kick
So
an
okay.
inside-out banana, one around your side,
Really?
just work on your left.
So
Remember-
Clark went the other way.
Well, he said to me one day, you're better to be a 9 out of 10 on one than 6 out of 10 on both.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's why they were
That
always
surprises me,
left-footers,
yeah.
and left-footers were just doing not one left-footer really went and tried to do anything else other than kick
So if you're
left-footed.
coaching, which you do, some Auskick, you would be saying to the kids, don't worry about both feet.
Oh,
Just get really good at one.
Now I'd
tiny.
be saying do both.
Because
feet,
ideally
but-
you'd be 10 out of 10 on both. But
Yeah,
that's
but not gonna happen.
But Sam Mitchell was
Yeah,
what,
Sam
pretty
Mitchell
good.
was
What, an
very
8 on
good.
both? A 9 on both?
Nine on both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's remarkable.
But he's remarkable. But at the higher level, I'd go. The right footers are a little bit different. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I'd say just make sure you got one.
So if you're a lefty, don't worry about the right. But if you're a righty, try to
Yeah,
worry about
I
the
don't know,
left.
but left footers don't really worry about their right too often. And you're better to people can't fall out of the system so quickly if they don't have a weapon. If they're just okay at everything, they'll fall out of the system. So I reckon you're better to sharpen one tool.
Hayden's 93. Does the MRO just throw a dart and that's the suspension? How Archie got 3 weeks is a joke.
Yeah, I can't.
100% agree.
I don't. The bit that has annoyed me for a long time is where they go, well, it's 3 weeks or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, can't we just use our brains and go,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah, it's
forget that the formula gets you to that, because I'm sick of that.
They have never had it right. The MRO, the MRP, the Tribunal, they've never had it right. How is
No.
this possible?
But
have you
also-
ever listened to a Tribunal hearing?
So, Archer,
it is bizarre.
sorry,
argument.
who did he clean up again? Sorry, the name escapes really quickly. Archer. Little Jackson Archer. He's lucky his legs didn't snap off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you give him the penalty, but then you got to ask the question: well, what is he meant to do? And if you can't answer that,
Well, was it
there's
not
no
below
penalty.
the knees in the
Yeah,
end?
which
Yeah, it was
free
actually
kick
the
for
other
him.
way.
Like, it's such a, and you
Yeah.
don't ever want to see anyone knocked out like that. But I don't know what, and that's what I'm keeping the speed going in. Like, what's he going to do?
Yeah, well, you can't. What you wanted to pull
He's
up?
lucky
He could
his
see,
leg
could
did
still
not-
have made the ball.
Yeah.
like there was still a chance he could have won that ball.
I think that was just a carnage accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something that's going to happen in a contact
Yeah.
sport every now and then. Sydney, g'day legends. Questions for the mailbag. First time, long time. X, how is your mate going after the dust has settled from the pick 3 trade by the Eagles? Is his membership still alive?
Oh, no, he's a Giants supporter.
Really?
He wrote the letter to the club saying he's not coming back.
Just wanted to
At
say.
half time, I saw a bloke on the weekend when I was running up and doing a gig thing. And he walked past and said, "Hey, X, I've seen my one half of footy for the year, see ya."
Well, that's
Really?
Then I come back.
Josh, our producer, was outside the stadium trying to get reactions, and he said from half time,
Yeah.
they started flow was a
Was
steady
that
flow.
you, Josh, out there with
Yeah.
that video? That was a really good video.
It was a good video.
Do you know what? I said I saw someone watching this morning. I said, that's really good.
It was put in my chat, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just reaction from Eagles fans post game. Are you going to do that every game? Is that the idea?
We'll do at least the Dockers season opener as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's in regards to remember my mate when they traded pick 3, he wrote that email to the football club saying
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, no, he's gone to the Giants, he's done.
And also, Sydney, just wanted to say congratulations for the WA Football Media Award. Well deserved. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Cheers, Sydney.
You're beauty, Sydney.
Shout out.
Sydney Sweeney.
Lovely.
Berkey 9. Sid the Kid Draper, the pick of the draft.
He
he
looked
did look
nice.
good when he came
on a sub
Yeah,
in
don't
a
sub him.
blowout.
That's an
Yeah.
Adelaide. Nix does that all the time.
Yeah, I don't. But also, I just and it's hard
Nix
because
is like the Ross lot. He hates kids.
yeah.
He hates them. Curtin,
Well,
nah,
but-
shitty roles for you.
But also,
Draper, sub.
If you're coaching for your life, which he is,
no,
you can't really flirt with it. Like
Yeah.
Harvey Langford, my boy, starting as sub. It's hard to be pissed off because Goody had five debutants. One of them was bound
Yeah,
to
but I
be sub.
thought, if you're picked in the first 6 picks, you think you go to the top of that list, right?
I don't like. You hit the nail on the head. That's why it happens. But I don't like that because
Yeah.
that's selfish. I'm not
Yeah.
saying Nix is doing that for that reason, but if that is the case, I don't like that because it's about the club.
Yeah, but also is Draper maybe he was player
Maybe
29 on the list,
Highly
and they
doubt
go no in terms of position to play.
Yeah.
and maybe they thought, well,
Give him a
let's
go.
just get the kid in, he can go sub. So maybe they were the other way
Maybe.
around.
Sharp.
Rocco Tomasi, can you guys at least try with the Suns? King is a Coleman favourite and an 800 to 1,000 goal prospect. Oh, come, hold on.
We're a big Sun. We're a big
800
Suns.
to 1,000 goals for
Well,
Ben
no,
King
no,
no.
in his career. He can play 30 years.
So this is why we don't give Suns anything, because we get 800 to 1,000.
Come on, Rocco.
Can you imagine if
Better than Richo.
like better than Franco? Like, Bud kicks 1,000. This bloke kicks 1,000 at Gold Coast Stadium, and 8 people run on the ground.
If Ben King kicks 1,000 goals in his career, we'll all do a nudie run
Yeah,
across
Carrara.
whatever they call it now. What's it? People's First
Oh,
Stadium?
People's First.
We'll all do 1,000 goals.
No. We'll do-
1,000 goals.
We will do it across the country.
Ned Brockman style. we get a chef?
He's not done, Rocco. Took, Rao, Anderson and Flanders are a top combo in the midfield. Sam Collins is an all-Australian standard fullback. Weller, Ainsworth, Butterick are injury comebacks who have A or B plus potential.
No.
Okay, come on. Ari Schoenmaker smuggled booze into... Oh, this is different. Okay, now, I'm not sure if this is right. Ari Schoenmaker, this is allegedly from Rocco.
Remember the...
Yes,
we
were
wondered
asking
what
why.
happened.
Yes, Ari Schoenmaker smuggled booze into the Tassie Mariners preseason camp and got banned from junior footy. Went and played senior TSL and killed it. Shot up the draft board, but he's super naughty and gets in trouble all the time.
But he shot down the draft board too.
Awesome kick and will be incredible. So, again,
Too naughty,
that is an
allegedly.
accusation from Rocco. Thank you for the
Thank
info.
you, Rocco.
I like almost everything there. I'm going to point out that no chance is Ben King 1,000 goal forward. And also, Weller, Ainsworth and Butterick, not A potential.
No.
No,
I
not
wouldn't
B,
not
B,
plus.
not B plus.
The midfield is very good.
I'll give him a B.
And he's going to, and I do like Sam Collins.
We've back Andrew too. We need to work out what happened to Ballard injury
Yeah,
wise.
Because
that would have...
He
He got a hobble that bit.
They're going to
and then
scan
knee.
it. They're going to scan
That would just create unbelievable flexibility for Dimmer with Mac Andrews when he comes back in
Doesn't it?
to go forward or back.
He's
and
your
now,
Swiss
and
Army.
now, and now if Ballard's done.
back.
Ev 3001. His ex-endorsing Swans losing Chad for Jamari Ugle-Hagan and a round 2 pick proved that it's not just Nick who enjoys a smoke.
Did you say this last week?
You must have rubber stamped the trade. Chad going for Jamari Ugle-Hagan.
Was that the one I didn't listen to?
And
I
a
was
round
like,
2
I'm
pick.
not big on these trades.
Maybe. You must have endorsed
Remember I said I'm not big on it? No, Jamar is
Ev-
like, there's no value of Jamar at the moment.
No,
I reckon Ev is going to be right. I do love the idea of Jamara in Sydney if they get him right, because that is the one thing
what
they
they
need the most.
Yeah.
Like, get him there.
But they're not taking a punt losing Warner for Jamar at the moment.
Oh, no, that's separate. Just get Jamara. Like, he's a damaged asset now, so get him.
Oh.
You know? Stressed asset, whatever they call that. The real Jim Shady 94. Did Nick Haynes possibly have the worst game of AFL footy ever played?
Well, they did show a lot of highlights of him dropping marks, but
Carlton fans are up and about.
Wasn't great.
But also, just your first game, like I'm not lobbing everything on him. Where were the good players?
GWS didn't want him.
41 points. You know he's on over $1 million 1 year.
Yeah.
He was good for a
that was
patch there.
back-ended, though.
Yeah, but still, you're still getting $1 million into your account.
Okay, I'm going to need the beep on this one. Paddy Amenta, why are Carlton so shit, Nick?
It's the vibe. It's the vibe of the place, mate. It's
just off,
You
isn't it?
can't
It is.
shake it.
Matthew Scarpino, for all the Freo supporters out there, remember, it's never as good or as bad, but that was bad. Why play Liam Reedy as a forward when you've been saying you want to have Jackson as a third tall? I think what happened there is Reedy was getting murdered.
They just had to throw
So they
him
just
in,
went,
yeah.
right, let's get Jackson in, try something else.
So does Jackson soul ruck this week?
Yeah, he
potentially.
probably- yeah, and then Pat
potentially.
Voss.
It's against Brody Grundy. Maybe Voss comes in. Darcy.
Well, Voss warmed up.
Darcy's best case was round 3, so they're not far off, but I reckon it's more going to be round
Saw
5.
him at the saw him
And then
walk
probably
past
two
him the other day. He's
twos.
very lean.
He's
very lean.
He's lost a lot of weight. He
Could
looks,
you'd have to get back through the twos too, just to
Get some
maybe.
just to
occasionally.
find a bit of
maybe.
That was the first game in a long time where I thought, shit, they need Fife in that midfield a little bit.
Aaron
I don't think that
Adrasevich
would have been
would love to know the wardrobe situation at 7.
Oh.
Rhino in a collared shirt, while Cuzzy and Lecker kept it casual in a white tee and jacket. Talk
This
us
has
through
been
it.
the thing, hasn't it? The callers wear the shirts and the special comms wear a
I
t-shirt.
think you'll
It
find...
looked like a Rivers commercial, to be fair.
So that's not a
The
directive.
Rivers haven't heard
So-
that in a while.
There is a
Shout out GWN.
there is a style guide that gets sent out.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what you have to work within the frame. But what you will find is the callers are typically guys like me with journalist backgrounds or broadcasting
Stiffs.
backgrounds. Well, we played safe.
Straight man.
Stiffs.
The jackets,
Yeah.
the collars. Whereas
I remember you tried to get Fruity last year, and I could not take my eyes off you, and I abused you all day from the commentary box.
the specials guys are typically former players.
Yeah.
Well, they're always former players.
Yeah, yeah.
Those guys are a little more comfortable within their own space.
Yeah.
So they're going to rock. When they get an option, they're going to take the T-shirt and the jacket over the top. There's a confidence in that I would never do that.
There's a lot of
You
confidence
would
in
not
Nick
see me-
Rewald, a t-shirt with a double-breasted jacket.
Correct. So
hello.
that's next level.
Well, I
That's
saw-
wowee.
So I would never do the
sneakers.
T-shirt and the jacket.
When
I can't pull that off.
When I saw Lecker on Sunday, I was like, first thing I said was, sorry again, Joe. What the are you wearing? And he's like, oh, God, I don't know. Anyway, he goes, the worst part is I can't take the jacket or anything off because when he was out camping, they call them invisible ticks or something. Like you don't know that these ticks
right.
are on you. until they're not, and you start. He's like, mate, I've been itching, and I've got betadine all over me.
Get out.
You've been attacked by ticks.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
And then I started getting itchy there.
Yeah.
And there's something going on there.
And I was like, did an invisible tick jump off you onto me?
You've got a little spot.
Yeah, that started hurting.
You've got an invisible tick.
That started going in the box.
That looks like a spider
After
bite.
talking to Lecker.
After talking to Lecker about the tick.
Invisible ticks.
You know what might have happened there?
Out of the studio, mate?
Watch it,
Jesus.
ready? The spider might have laid some eggs in there.
That does look like a bit one of those that are going to hatch you out
How
when
many
you're
days off?
sleeping.
How many days off work? was it? If
Tyson,
it is, I will get this so manky. I'll hold him wet, just dirty water.
Can't come into work.
Tyson McHugh. Can we please have a conversation about what Steele actually contributes as a captain?
I did think that
Jack Steele.
yesterday watching the game, I thought Jack Steele was going to get subbed off.
It's funny because he can either look really bad or he can look like the best player in the AFL, Jack
Game.
Steele. It's really weird with him, isn't
Gone
it?
quick.
Yeah.
But
A lot of
always-
clicking
He was pretty
today.
good last year.
So is this a new move of yours?
Yeah, he
He's
started.
feeling
Just to
himself.
emphasise
I just
points.
realised I could click. Can you click both fingers?
Michael Edwards, 92.
What, two?
Is there a world... Yeah.
No, both. I meant left and right, yeah. Yeah, it's not that
Yeah.
hard, actually.
Is there Michael Edwards, 92. Is there a world in which Tim Kelly gets dropped? He played to his summer headline, which was, of course, he had to find love of footy again.
He did, yeah.
He was pretty ordinary yesterday. When the whips were cracking, and he had 7 touches up to three-quarter time or something, I thought.
Tim Kelly.
Tim Kelly.
Oh, yeah, no. The midfield aren't fit.
Yeah, but as I
Like,
said...
Tim Kelly can get forward to the football. You know, I was talking about Sarong can take a punt on getting forward to the football at times would be better than going full forward. Yeah. Well, Kelly tends to do that a little bit, take a punt that the ball's going to turn over.
Yeah.
And then he's not working that hard. But now he's not the hardest working midfielder. It's just... You're never going to get forward to the ball, so you're not in it.
I think I said yesterday, he has to be your third or fourth mid.
Yeah.
He can't be your best on paper mid.
But he is now.
Jar Paul 6, is Josh Dunkley underrated? Brisbane Lions since his move. Grand final loss, premiers, brings what they lacked.
Yeah.
But he's always done that. Like, you will not see him, and then you
But the
look at the
Dogs couldn't
stats,
play
and he's
him.
had 26.
Yeah.
Mitchell
He's out.
Grimes, fellas, one-eyed dog here, so tell me if I've drunk too much purple Kool-Aid.
You have,
Not
before
forgiving the
even-
nature of the loss, but what chance were they given playing GMHBA round 1 at 10 a.m. Perth time during a heat wave, torn between the Ross Line days of anywhere, anytime, and this being a legitimate excuse? Has Freo been in discussion with the AFL about the specific fixture? It seems grossly negligent, especially after the Tassie fiasco.
What's Tassie?
I would remember when they were weighing in the playing sinks and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, look, there's multiple excuses there, but I don't think it equates to 79 points.
No, it's
that's
not
that's
that,
the
yeah.
only thing that you
A
can't.
slow start, maybe.
Yeah,
Nothing-
you
nothing
wouldn't,
from that
you wouldn't
point.
be giving the credit that Geelong deserves.
A 5-goal loss would have been arguable. What they put up was not.
Yeah.
Waylon Smithers, 31. How can a player be as bad a kick as Sardis? Is it bad coaching or can he just not handle the moment?
He's just never been able to kick.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I heard when he was at Essendon, that his kicking was...
Can't remember through the
Sub-
draft.
Yeah, it was below par. And like Hobbs, and I know we sort of sew them together
We do.
typically because neither of them play too often. They both play. I think Sardis has got to go out and then just give Hobbs that one go in the midfield and make your mind up, because
So you just can't see it for Sardis.
you can't.
No,
Yeah.
I can't either. Frank Crinnis, is X going to take back what he said about the Cats? Sincerely,
Yeah.
Geelong Nuff.
Yeah, and who am I to say the Cats are good? I'm the most positive
I know.
non-Geelong
The
fan
first time you've ever
in
jumped
the
off.
history of the world.
Yeah, but your man's not there anymore. So you...
No, I still like the Cats.
Saxon Souness. Does Sammy Lawler have the biggest nuts of all time?
No, my mate Will Harris does. Staggering.
Shout out to Will Harris.
Absolute staggering.
Is it in proportion?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
the-
did you know?
The nuts
He's
are
all
just
sacked.
massive nuts.
Not to be too crass about it, but I went to school with him, and in about year 10, I said, mate, look, I don't want... I think you might need to get them looked at. And he has, ever since he has been pretty well onto it. But yeah, no, massive tennis ball stuff. Yeah. Sorry, Will.
Just you surnamed him as well.
Yeah.
There's not even any doubt. You just say, my mate. You know?
Or Will from school would have done.
Will Harris.
And
Yeah.
you got to remember, not everyone shared a shower with him at school. All right? So not everyone knows
No,
about
but
them.
I hadn't seen him in the flesh. I just seen the pack on the outside. I was like, mate,
Something's going on
something
there.
doesn't look right. So that was me being helpful.
Yeah, good.
You're just a,
Dr. Zabe
just a good friend. So Sam Law has the second biggest.
in Melbourne.
Glenn Dickley. There you go. That's a coincidence. Why do players insist on kicking to deep in the pocket instead of top of the square?
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
Do you know what I noticed yesterday? It might have been the angle we were calling from in the box, but there was 4 kicks to that same pocket that all were like these little neat kicks that all went out of bounds on the full.
Yeah.
And I was like, that you have to nail that kick so perfectly, and then the set shot is hard. Why are you kicking there?
Well,
Why
so
are you leading there?
They kick to the pocket, which that doesn't make sense to me. We used to call it POMO, position of most opportunity, top of the square.
Yeah.
Bang, that's where it had to
The
go.
POMO.
Hit it to POMO.
Is that a Clarko thing?
Yeah, but
that.
then I think the trend went from that, because it can be rebounded either side really quickly. So if you pin it to a pocket, you'll get a stoppage, and then you can set
Go
up
again.
behind it. You can defend it behind it. But I think you better try and score. And then how often do you see coast to coast anyway? Not very often.
Yeah, you just need to have good ground level support, right?
Okay, conspiracy time. This is
Did
from-
they find that pickle juice?
Well, they must have.
Obviously.
They must have. All right, Senso sends in this week's conspiracy theory. Remember to keep them coming. We love them. Boys, been holding off on floating this conspiracy, but it seems very relevant again. So let's go. Rosemount Stud is
yeah.
owned by the Cotton On owner, located on the Victorian surf coast in Narrawarry. Is that how you say it? Narrawarra?
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 Yeah, I don't know. But it's
Say
out.
Narrawarra. About a half an hour drive from Torquay.
Yeah, from Geelong area, yeah.
My in-laws had a wedding at the homestead there late last year.
They do wonderful weddings there.
And there would not have been much change left over from 150k.
Oof.
Likely was north of that, but didn't have the heart to ask
So
the father-in-law.
do you know Anthony Mitho?
Is he the Cotton On guy?
No. So Mitho is an owner in the media and everything.
Right.
And the owner is Nigel Austin.
Okay.
But they both own it, Rosemount's.
Blow me over with a feather. Jeremy Cameron had his wedding there recently. Any chance that he had to pay the full tote odds or anything at all? Interesting to note that Joel Selwood's wedding was on a private property in Narrawarra. Where's Rosemount Stud again?
I don't think it was there.
You were there.
I was there. But I did go back to Nigel Austin's house.
Well,
so maybe it was
I
there.
think what Senso is saying is that Geelong players
They
are
were
getting
pretty well
free
looked
weddings
after.
or very cheap
Yeah.
weddings from the guy who owns the wedding establishment.
Well, it's a massive horse stud, huge horse stud.
A nice wedding venue by the
Looks
sounds.
bloody
Maybe
good.
they've got ownership stakes in a couple of
Oh,
horses.
hold on.
That's it.
There's-
I think.
Continued over the page.
Can I add a little bit of spice?
Yeah, what?
I think Hawkins has got a couple of Rosemont horses.
Oh, there we go. Oh, he's posted a picture from the Wire, which is very good. I like that. It's very nice.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a GIF. GIF or GIF? It's GIF, isn't it?
It's a gift. Yeah.
It's GIF.
It's GIF.
Settled.
That's us.
This has been the Hardball Gets AFL show with a mailbag after round 1. Thank you for sending in your questions. Make sure to follow us at Hardball Gets AFL on Instagram to flick them through. And voice notes next week, particularly
Love it.
conspiracy. Send us some
Love it.
conspiracy voice notes.
Voice
You're top of the
notes.
pack. All right. See you next time.